Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM in our 10th year here at Smash FM. And of course, let's turn our attention now to cycling. Of course, it is that time of the year. Of course, the summer of cycling normally it begins right now here in Victoria, but of course, that got pushed back by about a month or so. And of course, Nationals is coming up very soon as well. And of course, all the major cycling events here in Australia. And of course, we've got a very special guest on the show. Of course, her name's Lauren. She joins us right now. Thanks, Lauren, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. Well, tell us, how's it been like so far in the cycling side of things for yourself?
It's been pretty good. The last track season for me has been pretty good. Things are getting quite busy now with a lot of road racing coming up and then leading into track nationals and Oceana champs. But yeah, it's a busy time, but a fun time.
Now, I'm assuming by what you just told me, you're more into track than road. Am I correct?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I do have a really cool road team though, based out of Sunshine Coast. So I do have the best of both worlds, but track is definitely more my forte.
Well, let's talk a bit about track. Now, normally I know that the one I know the most is Australs, which is normally held here in Melbourne, but obviously due to the pandemic, that didn't happen all last year. I guess how sad was that to not have Australs at all down here?
It was pretty sad to miss out on the Austral, and a lot of events obviously got cancelled, and our nationals was postponed I think 2 or 3 times before it actually went ahead. So yeah, it is really sad not having these events go ahead, but I think at the moment they are planning to have it for the next season. So that's exciting, and I'm sure there will be a lot of people keen to go out there and race their bikes when we finally get to race the Austral again.
Now, you mentioned about Nationals and Oceanas coming up. Of course, I'm assuming that was pushed back due to COVID. I guess, when are you expecting to get on the track for both those events?
So they'll be in March. They're only a week apart between each of those events. This year, we did not have an Oceana Championships because of COVID and I think a few other things. But yeah, it'll go ahead hopefully for 2021, and we actually did manage to have a track nationals just last month, mid-December. So, but it wasn't quite the same as normal. It just didn't feel like nationals. Everyone had kind of rushed there last minute because it ended up going ahead, and it was a bit of a shambles. I trained through doing some road Ks and that kind of thing, so yeah, it was different, but I'm looking forward to going full gas for the next ones in March.
Now, I believe there was a track event in Brisbane last month. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, that was the national champs.
Tell us how you went in that.
I went okay. It was honestly a roller coaster for me. My first event was the individual pursuit, and I really hoped to win that because it's an event that I really enjoy, and something that I kind of back myself in to do well. And so I was a little disappointed because I qualified third, and I was about 4 seconds slower than what I'd hoped to ride. So yeah, that was a bit disappointing, but I came back and I managed to hold on and get that bronze medal in the final. And then the next race, I actually got dead last. So that was a points race, and I just had a shocker. Like, I went out and picked up points early and thought that I might ride into the race, and it just went really pear-shaped. But I kind of got through, and I wasn't really that mad about it because I knew that I hadn't had a proper taper or anything like that. And then I finished off with the scratch race and actually got the win. So it was, yeah, it had its fair share of ups and downs, that nationals, but it was really nice to finish on a high.
Yeah, it just sounds like it was a real roller coaster for yourself.
Yeah.
Experiencing that, the highs and the lows of the whole nationals in Brisbane. I guess, what did you take out of it that you can improve on going into this year's nationals, which is not far away, which is in about 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with a proper training block, I can still go better in the individual pursuit. I would like to go a lot faster than I rode the other day, but I also think that that's possible with a really good preparation and a good taper leading into it. But I also kind of took out of it, like, it's always worthwhile to keep pushing on, because even after that points race, I kind of thought, oh my God, like, what am I doing? This is, I'm not in form, and I've just done all these road Ks and I've ruined my track nationals. But yeah, I guess you never know what's around the corner. I'm kind of really glad that I started that scratch race and didn't let my head get to me, because leading into it, like waking up that morning, I was kind of in the mind space of, let's get this race done because I'm ready to go home. And I lined up on the start line and kind of put that all aside and was like, all right, let's just do the best I can in this and still have a really good crack. And yeah, it paid off in the end, which was nice.
I'm assuming you got a couple events that you're looking forward to between now and obviously the nationals coming up. Obviously, track nationals we already mentioned, but any events in between those blocks?
Yeah, so we have the Tour Down Under, the smaller version, and I think it has a different name. And then following that, we have Road Nationals as well. I think only a week or two apart.
How's the preparations towards that?
It has been probably not ideal, but I've still been able to get in a few Ks. So hopefully that helps. But I've had a lot of track racing, and I've also relocated to Adelaide. So just the process of, racing those track events and then coming here, I had a few days off to travel here. And this week I'm just organising everything and familiarising myself with my new bike. So it hasn't been a perfect preparation, but I feel like it's still going to go fine. I have a really good team around me, and the people we'll be riding for are definitely going to be fit. So yeah, as long as I can do my job well for them, then it's going to be a good week.
Now you mentioned that you relocated yourself to Adelaide. I guess you must tell us, whereabouts are you originally from in Australia? And I guess obviously now you've moved to where Cycling Australia is, I guess, track, of course, main track training group is. You must tell us how difficult was the move?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Tasmania, which has really good cycling routes. We have some really good coaches there and really good athletes, and a lot of people had aspired to be like since I was young. So I've come from a good cycling background, and I've relocated maybe to a better one. There are a lot of really talented people here that I'm lucky to be surrounded by. But the move was kind of hard, packing up everything. I travelled on the Spirit of Tas and then drove here by myself. So it was a really long transit. And now just organising myself and I guess my new life here and just getting into new routines, it's a little bit challenging, but I think it's going to be all fine. And I think once I settle in, it'll be all smooth sailing. Like, there are a lot of really good people here and a lot of people in the same boat as me. So once my teammates come back in, I think they're here at the end of the week, things will begin to go to normal, I think, and it'll be good.
Now, do you have like a specific goal that you want to reach in 2021? Considering obviously 2020 was pretty much a complete rule out.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of in the process, I guess, of establishing some new goals for this year. I don't have any really clear ones yet, but I definitely want to make this a year of progression. At the moment, I'm lucky enough to be in the Podium Potential Academy with the Australian cycling team. So for me, this is a really good launch pad, I guess, into bigger things. So I really want to make the most of this opportunity. And for me, I guess that kind of looks like winning a few races and being within the mix, maybe to make a World Championships team. or to put my hand up for the coming Commonwealth Games. At the moment, those things seem out of reach, but this program is to help people like me make that transition and the next step up. So it would be really rewarding to have this serve its purpose and be able to achieve something like that.
Let's talk a bit about your cycling journey. Where did it all start and why did you choose it?
I began cycling because my dad rode bikes ever since I was a little baby, actually. Dad started riding, I think, when he was about 16. So when I was born, yeah, mum and dad were always at bike races, and I was 3 years old and did a beginner's race on my tricycle. And I got third in the beginner's race, and I got this big trophy, which at the time I thought was the best thing ever. So I guess that kind of I've just always loved riding my bike, and from then on I wanted to race, and mum and dad said when I was 10 that I could have a track bike. So it kind of just progressed from there, and I've raced all through juniors, and now I'm 24 and still going.
Do you have a particular highlight throughout your time in cycling that stands out to you the most?
There are a lot of really cool moments. I guess juniors is a really fun time and you meet lots of cool people. I went to Junior Worlds in 2013 and 14, and I won 2 gold medals, which was, I guess, it was a really exciting time for me because I kind of didn't really believe that I could do that. And it probably gave me a bit more confidence in myself that I can achieve my dreams. And so after that, I went on to ride for Australia in a few World Cups. And I think one of the biggest highlights would definitely be, I think my first World Cup, we won the gold medal in the team's pursuit, and we were huge underdogs. And I think we originally qualified about 5th, and then through the ride-offs, we ended up in the gold medal ride-off. And yeah, we were the underdogs for the final. We started in the back straight where all the people who qualify second fastest go. And then, yeah, we ended up winning by, I can't remember how much, but it wasn't super close, and it was super rewarding just that, you know, our team of 4 girls banded together and everyone gave their best effort, and we were just really happy to be there. So for it to come together, it was just a really fun trip, and I guess a surprise for both us as athletes, but then also the staff. Our coach at the time was Gary Sutton, and he was so excited. I think he said that it was his favorite ride of the whole year, and it was just such a good atmosphere, and the team had such good morale, and it's, yeah, one of my favorite memories for sure.
Now, talking about that team, you must have tell us who the other riders were on that team, and are you still keeping in contact with them?
Yes, so the other riders were Macy Stewart, Alex Manley, and Alyssa Wondersits. And I keep in contact with most of them. I don't see Alyssa very often or hear from her very often, but we do occasionally message. And now I'm here with Alex Manley in Adelaide, and she just raced in Tassie last week, actually. So it's been so nice to see her again after a long time. And Mace is also here in Adelaide still. So yeah, we're all kind of, keeping in touch, which is really nice.
I guess my next question is, what does the sport of cycling mean to you now? And I guess, do you have any short or long-term goals in the sport?
Yeah, so cycling, I guess it means a lot to me because it's my whole life. It's something that I've loved since I was a little kid, and I've had my challenges and setbacks along the way, which really made me question my love for the sport and what it means to me, but also kind of confirmed why I do it. And at the end of the day, it's because I really like riding my bike, and I really like pushing myself to be something more than an average person, and I really like to strive for big goals. So I have, like I said before, haven't really established any standout goals for this year yet, but I will get onto that definitely, because I think it really helps having goals to monitor your progress and work for something, especially in times like these when there's COVID. Goals are quite important to keep pushing along for. So yeah, for sure, I want to make sure that this is a year of progress, and I guess long term, since I was a tiny little girl and Sarah Carrigan won the road race and Anna Mears won a gold medal on the velodrome, I've always wanted to be an Olympian. So that's the longest term goal, which who knows if it'll ever happen, but at least if I give everything, I'll know that I've given everything. And if it never happens, I can't say I didn't try. So that's definitely the biggest goal. But for now, I'm just going to focus on those progress goals and stepping stones along the way, and really enjoy this time with the Australian cycling team, because it's such a unique opportunity and a lot of people don't get this opportunity. So yeah, I really want to make the most of it and just, enjoy my time that I have here.
Now, of course, I'm assuming you got a local cycling club back in Tassie that's helped you along the way to get to where you are now. Now, of course, been in Adelaide, been there at Cycling Australia. You must tell us who that local cycling club is and who is your coach there.
Yep. So I ride for Launceston City Cycling Club in Tassie, and they've always backed us little juniors and helped us get to the national championships and those kind of things. And there's a really great bunch of people there. Just through my whole career in cycling, they were always really supportive. And so I was initially coached by my dad for my first 6 or 8 years of my junior career, and I always think that my dad is a really great coach, and I think I owe a lot to him for where I am today. Just things that he taught me as a junior that have been really important throughout my whole career. And then I went into the Tasmanian Institute of Sport and have been coached by Matthew Gilmore for probably another 8 years. But my time with the TIS and Matt has been great, and the staff there went above and beyond for me, especially in the last probably 18 months to 2 years. I think there are a lot of people there that put as much effort into my goals as I did, and I think that's a really special thing, especially in an institute where there are a lot of other people from other sports. It was really nice to have so many people backing me, and Matt, I feel like I could tell anything and he would always figure out training around any problems that we had, or would always find a way to overcome any challenges along the way. And also listened to me when I had feedback for him, because it kind of goes both ways. And between my dad and Matt and the TIS, I think I had a really good group of people around me that has helped me to get where I am.
For everyone out there that should get involved in cycling, what would be your advice to get involved, especially being in the middle of summer? Well, in some parts of Australia anyway.
Yes. Well, I know in Tassie we have a lot of track nights, especially throughout the summer. And I feel like if you want to get involved in cycling, that's a really good place to start. It's a nice, safe place. There are bikes there. And I know in other states that there's similar things offered, just hire bikes, or I think like club bikes that you can borrow to try the track. You don't have to worry about cars. But also I know that there was a huge bike boom over COVID and a lot of people bought bikes. So that's kind of exciting. And I feel like if our cycling community grows, that's a really good thing, whether you're commuting to work or riding for exercise. Just get out there and have a go. And if you don't like it, you don't have to keep at it, but just try it and give it a chance.
Now let's finish on a couple of hard questions about your squad. You mentioned before about, of course, you had a fantastic road and track squads as well. Now, of course, I have to ask, who had the most embarrassing moment on the track or on the road, and what was it?
I don't know. Look, to be honest, it was probably me. And it was probably me taking 8 hours to do a drug test. embarrassing. And I walked out of the velodrome when it was daylight. But I do have one of my teammates on my road team, Anya. She's always full of embarrassing stories, or things just always happen to her. But she's the best person for it to happen to because she always handles it so well. And she joins in with everyone laughing.
I think you might have just answered my next question then. Who's the comedian in the team?
She is a bit of a comedian, yes. But I think we have a few in the track team as well. Georgia Baker, she's in the podium spot. She's always got funny things coming out of her mouth. Yes, she's probably the biggest comedian.
Yes, I had a feeling you were going to say that based on everyone else I had on the show. Now, any good singers and dancers we should know about?
Well, I don't know. Well, everyone knows that Macy can sing really well. But everyone can dance well after a few drinks too. So I won't pick one person. I think everyone's pretty good.
Now, are any of them into their TikToks?
I don't think so. I don't think there are many TikTokers amongst us. Yeah.
Now, are there anyone on the team that are just plainly forgetful?
I think that's me again. A lot of people tell me that I'd forget my head if it wasn't screwed on, so I might have to take that title.
Oh, well, I'm not going to ask what's the most forgetful thing you've actually forgot, but I'm not going to ask that question. So I'll quickly move on.
I have gotten my bike to a training session once, so that's me.
Oh, you just answered it for me then. Do you have a pre-competition or event superstition or ritual?
I think I have a lot, but I can't think of them at the moment. Like on race day, I know that I do weird things that are like because of superstitions. Sometimes I used to have a lucky pair of socks. They were foreshore socks, and I don't know how they got lucky, but I won the world championship in them. And so they were my lucky socks that I would make sure were washed and dried before every race that I wanted to win. But they have had their day now, and I still actually have them, but I don't wear them. I've got holes in them. I crashed in them, actually. So they are on standby. But they were definitely one of my biggest superstitions. I used to wear those without fail every race that I wanted to do well in.
I was going to ask that, and you actually answered it. So I'll move on to this one last one, which is for everyone that should follow your progress throughout the 2021 year in cycling. How can I follow on social media?
Yeah, you can follow my Instagram, which is Lauren Perry, but the E in Lauren is actually a 3. I keep that updated, and I kind of want to capture a lot of memories while I am here with the team. So that probably will be a place that I share a few of those things, because I think this is just a really cool experience and a really cool time, and I want to look back at it one day and have all these memories. So I will share them on my Instagram, and if anyone wants to see them, they can follow me there.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us, and it's awesome having you on the show. We can't wait to see you at Road Nationals and obviously the Track Nationals as well coming up, and let's hope it all goes well this year, and hopefully it's not like a roller coaster like you did about a month ago up in Brisbane.
Thank you. Yes, let's hope it's a bit more smooth sailing this time. Thank you.
No worries, and that's Lauren Perry joins there from Adelaide. Of course, they're at the of course the Australian Cycling track there. Of course, if you want to follow her progress, as she mentioned, of course, you can follow on Instagram. And of course, we'll also put the details up on how you can follow the Australian cycling team, of course, throughout the 2021. You know, of course, or you can get out to, of course, all the cycling events as well, including the Road Nationals coming up in Mount Banyong in February. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go.